This is Backstage Sonoma, your all-access pass to the local music scene.
Coming to you from beautiful downtown Santa Rosa, this is the Backstage Sonoma podcast. And now, here's your host, Steve Roby.
Welcome to Backstage Sonoma. I'm Steve Roby. Today we have the pleasure of hosting Robbie Fulks, an iconic figure in the alternative country scene and a masterful storyteller with a guitar. Robbie's current album, Bluegrass Vacation, is a standout project featuring some of the genre's brightest stars. Robbie will join me in a moment, but first, let's hear a sample from Bluegrass Vacation. This is One Glass of Whiskey.
Face toward the hill, trail of years behind me, and a night I had to kill. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. Staring up at the mountain like to drive me mad. The mountain never changes, so I guess I better had one glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. To the city with a plan to get rich fast. Next time I'll take the money and I'll put the plan last. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. These LA bars are friendly, small town bars are rough. I don't need no more unkindness, the memories enough. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. And when I feel I'm sinking low, I reach for the first friend I see. All I need is to look at him and know he's sinking faster than me. Well, it gets stranger the more it goes on. It's no wonder how I worry when nothing's really wrong. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find. One glass of whiskey to ease my mind, and another one to take it too far away to find.
That was One Glass of Whiskey, an upbeat track from Robbie's new album, Bluegrass Vacation. Robbie joins me now. Hey, Robbie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steven, good to be here.
Good, so glad to have you. Hey, Robbie, your latest album, Bluegrass Vacation, marks a deep dive into pure bluegrass. What inspired this full-fledged journey into the genre, and what was it like working with legends like Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas?
I started listening to bluegrass when I was about 0 years old because my parents loved it, and some of the first music that I remember hearing was Doc Watson, which is at least bluegrass adjacent. Doc is. And The Country Gentleman and the Will the Circle Be Unbroken album a little bit later. And then started going to bluegrass festivals, also at an early age, which is recounted on a song on the new record. So early on, and then also my first job in professional music. In other words, the way that I first supported myself in music was in a bluegrass band as a sideman in a band called Special Consensus out of Chicago. So all these years later, and this is like, 40 or 38, 39 years later, I put out this record after having put out 16 or 17 records in which bluegrass was sometimes audible. Over the 2010s, I started building up a pretty impressive Rolodex of people that I was going on the road with and people that I'd used on records or just knew who were monstrous bluegrass players, some of them idols of my youth, such as Sam, who you mentioned.
Yeah.
What it was like to play on the record with people like that, it was transcendental. And a couple of them, like Sam, I met in the 90s and have known pretty well ever since and used on several records. So it was more like getting together with someone you knew and obviously still admired a lot. Sam I've admired since I was 10 and first saw him play. And other people like Sierra Hull and Chris Eldridge, I only knew slightly. Regardless of how well I knew them, those people, they're great. I mean, they make you feel comfortable. They don't act like cocky rock stars. They act normal.
Definitely. Well, let's explore your songwriting process. And if you will, could you share some of your thoughts on how you pull it all together and make it sound so good?
Well, thank you. It's a little bit of a mystery to me. It's
Okay.
very much of a non-process, I find, and I think most people find, writing songs. And the only part that's kind of a method is getting to a place where it's quiet and there are no distractions. So usually I go off somewhere, like I go off to a hotel or off to the desert or just kick my wife out of the house for a little bit. And I just find that once things are quiet and there's not a lot of stimuli and I start to get bored, that things start to trickle into my brain or sometimes rush into my brain. And the useful things for songwriting are old memories, a snatch of a conversation that you overheard the other day, a piece of melody, a rhythm, anything.
Yeah.
And you open that out into a song, and most of the songs are not good. And most of the songs I throw away, but one out of every 5 or 10, some minority like that seems to be useful and to have something promising, and you just like forge ahead with that.
Do you keep a notebook? Do you like write down song ideas or song titles or anything like that?
Exactly, all of the above.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm a very pre-modern person. I just have a composition book and a pen and a brain, and that's about it.
Okay. No talking into the iPhone for future planning?
Yeah, much. I had a 4-day session with Al Anderson, an old friend and hero who's a great songwriter. And yeah, I took my iPhone out with him just to make sure that, because it was more of a historical commemoration, I think, with Al. But with just me, I don't have the same respect for myself when I'm working alone, which I usually am. So just a pen is all I need.
Great. Hey, let's play another track from the new album. This one is called I'll Trade You Money for Wine. For this track, you teamed up with Jenny Scheinman, who we recently had on the show. Tell us about this collaboration and what does Jenny bring to the track that makes it unique for you?
Jenny, you can hear from the track because we're just sitting in a room playing. There's no bells and whistles or pyrotechnics about the recording process. It's just us two playing together. So you can hear us making up a song together. And I think that's what happens when all good musicians play together. But Jenny just takes it to the nth degree. A great musician like her has this uncanny ability to listen and to stay in the moment and to respond to whatever the other person's doing. That's what I think you can hear in that track.
Yeah. It was great to have her on, and she mentioned you when I had her on the show. So it's great to tie the two people together finally.
Yeah, I love her, and I did hear that show, and you're both good.
Great. Well, let's listen to the track. This is called I'll Trade You Money for Wine, which I've done many times in my life. This is Robbie Fulks, and you're listening to Backstage Sonoma.
Corn in the crib won't turn your dollar green. Dollar won't get you high. Some days a drop is all a body needs. Some days the bottle drains dry. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade you money for wine. I've seen your towns from a long black Lincoln, boys, back when copper was king. 10 years I've stood on the same old corner, boys, I never won for a thing. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I won't trade you money for wine. wine. Wild were the nights when I was a rolling boy, no hunger unsatisfied. Feared was my name in the Elko County boys, now they just walk on by. The banker, he spares a quarter for my cup, his trouble's deeper than mine. That way of life, boys, there ain't gold enough. I'll trade you money for wine. See how the rain washes the sulfur dust off to the wide blue sea. Freed from the rock, the copper flies to where no miner ever may see. Shallow your cares and vain your industry, so says the wide blue sea. Well, I never burden God on your account, don't waste your prayers on me. I've seen a man of wealth and family scrimp till his hair's gone gray, laid in the ground just like I'm gonna be. He might have drunk it away. Pockets of change don't drive my worry down. Diamonds don't make me shine. It's a short life and a long time underground. I'll trade you money for wine.
Musician Robbie Fulks is my guest today. Robbie, your music has always had a strong narrative quality, from tales of personal anecdotes to broader cultural commentary. How would you say your songwriting themes evolve as you transition through different phases of your career?
I feel like transition through different phases is kind of a polite way of saying getting old. I think of my songwriting as having almost like a binary quality, like early on, and by early on, I mean in my 20s, 30s, even into my early 40s. I think I was more measuring myself against the standard of, is this song I've just written, does this song sound like another song that I know, that I love and know? And which is in a way a sensible standard, but it inhibits you from finding your own voice equally, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last, I don't know, maybe 15 years, I've been focusing really hard on that, on not sounding like other people and just doing a thing that I alone do. And so for that, to that end, I'm more apt to dig into my own pool of memories and experiences and to use phrases in songs that I haven't heard in songs before. And that might have been, it might have been a little awkward feeling and when I was in my 20s to throw something out there that I hadn't heard before, but now it seems I'm just game for that kind of thing.
Interesting. So looking back over your career, what moments are particularly memorable or significant, a recording session or a live concert? Is there anything you can share with our listeners?
I think being invited to play at festivals that have high visibility, like Hardly Strictly and Merle Fest, things like that are important to me. Getting to play on the Grand Ole Opry the first time, which I think was 2003, was a big moment for me, and really every successive time on the Opry has been also a big moment. But other than that, I think just getting to meet and work with, record, tour with, like I was mentioning before, people whose records I love and whose music I love. I mean, that's everybody from Sam Bush to Jenny to Lucinda Williams to people whose names aren't as well known as those names. But I mean, there's like a couple dozen of them. And that's just been a huge lift for me. It really keeps me in the game. It's a big boost.
Well, let's listen to one final track. This is called Fare Thee Well, Carolina Gals. Robbie, this track has a nostalgic tone to it. Can you share what the song is about and what inspired its creation?
Well, this song is on a record called Upland Stories, which is a record from 2016. So it's not super old record, but it's a record that was nominated for 2 Grammys. It's a memorable record for me. But the song is about memories of North Carolina in the mid to late 70s. It mentions a guy from the Red Clay Ramblers, which was a super popular group at the time among my set in that part of the world. And the banjo player Tommy Thompson is used in that song as kind of a symbol of things that get lost, because Tommy's now gone and the time is gone. And so you just sit around wondering, wow, what you were part of a time and place that is now existing only in your mind and in the minds of a few other people that were there. And what does that even mean? Like, is it real anymore? Does it have the status of a ghost? And these kind of melancholy feelings encouraged me to sit down and write this somewhat rambling song.
Okay, well, let's listen to it now. This is called Fare Thee Well, Carolina Gals, here on Backstage Sonoma.
Those little slim gals would swing their feet down the airport side of Franklin Street, and I'd watch them in the not quite innocent way I'm looking at them this evening. Thinking about the plans I put on hold while the town got smaller and the days unrolled. Now there ain't but 2 stories told, and this one's about leaving. Well, I remember Katie, then Rosalie. I was pressing my luck when I tried for 3. Some shrink from a shameful deed, and me, I'd do it gladly. If I hand you a line, you know that's true. If I give you a couple, then it's yours to choose. One story from a total of 2 has got a good chance to end badly. So fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Well, I was just a lad about yay tall, sniffing that glue in the Northgate Mall, down where the anchor men say you all, and kindness is a show for strangers. All them B-school boys and old hippie men, sweating in the sun to no clear end. I made a medium to poor boyfriend and a pretty good house painter. So fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. His home, Dad's heart couldn't be hewn like a simple phrase in a well-made tune. A stack of Leos sound good on the moon. You don't need a cane chair and a hound dog. He'd sing the blues, I just smiled. I was such a calm and settled child, thanking the Lord, never dreaming the while he was laying out my downfall. So with my hair in my eyes and my chest out swelled, I stood on her porch and I buzzed the bell, peeking round the blind, knowing full well that her folks was gone to Boston. They They mean quiet when they say lights out, but that was love making and it made me shout. Daddy would have come home fast, no doubt, if he knew what the weekend had cost him. So fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can't find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Now if a cruel word escapes my mind, don't worry baby, it's just the wine. On second thought, it's not the wine, it's just me talking. We men pour out our problems like we think that they're unique. They cheer when a baby starts to speak. You ought to give them a prize for stopping. Baby, don't you be too surprised if I cash in the farm after mama dies. Get a Cadillac and just ride till the Pacific meets the bumper. Stop looking at me like I'm lost a screw, like things had to lead where they led to. With the house half gone to kudzu, I'd be lucky to get a clunker. By luck I landed in the upper south. By God, I gotta make my own way out. I should have read the signs by now. I should have heard the locals buzzing. Poor old Tommy Thompson's dead and gone, and I've been feeling not so strong. Chapel Hill hasn't done me wrong. It was fine until it wasn't. So fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me. Fare thee well, Carolina gals, I'm going where you can find me. There'll be trouble in the days to come and a lot more fools behind me.
And we're back with my guest, Robbie Fulks, as we wind up this interview. Robbie, do you have any plans for future recordings or exploring other musical styles other than bluegrass?
Yeah, it'll be a while, but I think my next record will be out about a year from now, but I've been spending all of this year writing it, and then I start recording it in a couple of months. And it's a sort of, I heard the term post-stylistic a while ago, and I think that's what it is. I've done it on a couple records before, and the hope is that when somebody hears, I don't know, the opening notes of any song, you're not reminded right away of any particular style. It might be an instrument playing a chord, and then I start to tell a story melodically, and it goes from there, but you're not like, oh, I love bluegrass, so I love this, or I love Americana, so I love this. Although I would describe this style, if you had to pick a style word, as probably Americana. That's what the next record is going to be. It's a little bit LA-centric because that's where we're living now, and that's where I met a bunch of cool musicians that'll be on the record.
Cool. Do you have a working title?
Yeah, I'm thinking of calling it Now Then, because it's from the point of view of a guy who's alive and thinking a lot about old times.
All right. So that's coming in 2025. Early or mid-year or something like that?
I think probably fall of 2025.
Okay. Something to look forward to. I guess we can follow you on social media or something like that to see how the progress is coming along, huh?
Yeah, I won't be quiet about it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So you have a show coming up at Hop Monk Tavern in Novato. Can you give us a preview of what the audience can look forward to at the show?
Yeah, it'll be me and Jenny at that show.
Cool.
We've already talked about her, and hopefully some of your audience knows who she is. So guitar and fiddle is, to me, a great combination because nobody's worried about stepping on anybody else. So you don't have to, neither of us has to stop playing for long periods of time just to keep the song dynamic and interesting. we can both just keep playing and listening to one another. The instruments are so unlike, in other words, and complementary without stepping on each other's territory. And plus, we've been working together so long now. Jenny and I have been working together for 15 or so years, and so we can kind of read each other's minds pretty well.
Nice. Sounds like a good performance.
That's always good, right?
Yeah. And let me remind our listeners, Robbie Fulks and Jenny Scheinman will perform at the Hop Monk Tavern in Novato on Saturday, October 26th for an 8 p.m. show. Tickets can be purchased online at kcturnerpresents.com. Robbie, thanks so much for your time today. I really enjoyed the conversation.
It was fun talking with you, Steven.
Backstage Sonoma will be right back after this quick break.
Welcome to Backstage Sonoma, your all-access pass to the heartbeat of the Bay Area music scene. From jazz to rock, blues to world music, we bring you intimate conversations with the artists shaping our soundscape. Hear their stories, explore their inspirations, and dive deep into the creative process that makes each performance unforgettable. Hosted by Steve Roby, seasoned radio personality and best-selling author, Backstage Sonoma has featured Grammy winners like Judy Collins, Colby Kyle Lott, Leslie Mendelsohn, and chart-topping guitarist Adam Hawley. With over 200 episodes and 4 years of exclusive content, we keep you connected to the local and touring musicians making waves today. Whether you're a lifelong music lover or discovering new tunes, join us on Backstage Sonoma, available on all major streaming platforms, including YouTube. Don't miss a beat, subscribe now, and be part of our growing community of listeners. Backstage Sonoma, where the music never stops.
Thanks for listening to the Backstage Sonoma podcast. Join us next time for more great interviews and music from local and touring musicians. You can find us on the web at backstagesonoma.com.